Hey guys, welcome to Proud Animator. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the step-by-step breakdown of how I made this animation project from beginning to the end. And by the end of this video, I will also refer the tutorials and provide the links for the techniques I used in this video. By the start of any project, I do some research on the topic and then pick a pencil and a paper and do some basic rough sketch to put all ideas on paper. So after that, I jumped onto Adobe Illustrator and started with the illustration process. So in this project, I thought about reusing the character from one of my previous projects and then change few detailing and of the overall proportion of the character. Side by side, I picked some color palettes from Adobe Color and Pinterest and tried out different color combinations. Now once I am finalized with the color theme for the animation, I started illustrating the other frames, and here I am with the illustrations I would need for the project. Then I started separating the layers as per my requirements to prepare the file for animation in After Effects. So the video starts with a close-up view of hand with an egg cracking the egg. Then camera changes to the top view on the frying pan. Then the camera cuts to the front view of the character where she is cooking. And finally the breakfast is ready. So this is the overall idea of this project. Now let me show you my animation workflow in After Effects. In After Effects, I started animating the frame 1. So in this frame, the hand is in close-up view where the chef is cracking the egg on the table. And here I use the hand's layers rotation property to bring it into the scene. Then to animate the hand in perspective, I scaled down the hand layer and then animated the path property of the forearm shape layer according to requirement. Then for the transition from frame 1 to frame 2, I used a match cut. So for this match cut, I used the momentum of the hand to maintain the continuity between the scenes. In frame 2, I brought in another hand in the scene to hold the egg and crack it. So in this scene, to animate the hand, I again used the rotation property of the layers. I also parented the hand layer with the forearm layer and animated the rotation property of the hand and forearm. To crack the egg, I previously added the cracked layers of the egg and joined it together. Then parented the right side of the cracked part with the right hand and the left side with the left hand. Then I dropped the egg yolk and white in y-axis. So here I parented the egg white with egg yolk layer and animated it in y-axis. Then varied the shape path of the egg white layer. Then for transition from frame 2 to frame 3, I again used a match cut. So here I used the momentum of the falling egg to maintain the continuity between the scenes during the transition. In frame 3, I converted the egg composition in 3D and then animated it in Z-axis while it's falling on the pan. So here I added a little bit of rotation while it's falling as well. So after the fall, the egg white spreads out, and here I used the shape path property, also animated the opacity of the egg white layer. Then I rotated the pan in 3D, so here I converted all the layers of the composition in 3D first and then parented pan with the pan handle and egg with the pan. Then rotated the pan in 3D and added some extra layers for the pan and the handle edge. Then for the transition from frame 3 to frame 4, I again used a match cut. So here I used the momentum of the frying pan to maintain the continuity between the scenes during the transition. So in the next scene, the character continues the movement of the pan. In frame 4, I rigged the character with the help of twig bezier. So I rigged the face with twig connectors. I picked a 2D slider to rig the face so that I have my option open to animate the character's face in both X and Y axis. Now after that, I parented all the facial elements with a null and then created a 3 set of keyframes in both in X and Y axis of the position property. One neutral pose, a up-down pose and one sidewise pose. Then linked the property of the sliders in both X and Y axis and then linked the other elements linked with the head with the slider in the same process. And now the character's head is fully rigged to animate. So to animate the face, I only moved the slider controller in the direction I wanted it to move. To animate the back hair, I used pin tool. Then I converted the pins into bone layers with twig bezier and animated the bone layers rotation property and offset the keyframes. And here is how it looks. Then I moved on with hand rigging. So to rig the hands, I again used Twig Bezier plugin. In Twig Bezier, I picked arm structures to rig the arm and then animated it accordingly with Twig controllers. And then the character picks the egg with spatula, then cuts to the next scene where she puts the cooked egg in the dish. So for the match cut here, I again use the momentum of the spatula. So to bring the spatula, I again used the position property and then rotated the layers in 3D as well to add some dimension. Now in frame 4, to animate the flame, I first added a shape layer and then applied wave warp effect on the layer and then changed the wave type to circle. Then duplicated the shape layer once again and varied the wave warp settings a bit, changed the phase value as well. I then used alpha inverted matte and then changed the shape path in the shape of a flame. After that, I added a new adjustment layer and applied Gaussian blur and matte choker to blend the shapes a bit, and then here is how it finally looks. Okay, so these are the steps I followed through the project and the project is ready to render. So that is it for this video. I hope you learned a few important tips and tricks to help you in your projects. So if you want to learn how to rig face of a character with Twig connectors, then you can check out my other videos on character rigging where I explained it in full details. So I will be providing the link in the description, or you can check out the link from the I button on the top right corner to check out the tutorials. Now if you want to learn how to animate fire in After Effects, then you can again check out the tutorial link in the description or click on the I button to check out the tutorial where I have explained it in full details. And if you want to learn how to rig full body of a character in After Effects, then again click on the I button on the top right corner to check out the detailed tutorial. So that is it for this video. If you like the video, then make sure to hit the like button. If you have any doubt regarding the techniques, then make sure to comment down. I would be happy to help you out. And if you're here for the first time, then make sure to subscribe the channel and hit the bell notification button to stay notified for all the future updates. Until then, goodbye.